Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. Tonight we're diving into one of the biggest moments on television this weekend, the latest episode of Saturday Night Live. Yes, the legendary sketch comedy series that's been making people laugh, cringe, think, and talk for decades. In this episode, we have two major firsts. Actor Glen Powell makes his debut as host, and singer-songwriter Olivia Dean appears as the musical guest for the very first time. We'll unpack their backgrounds, what this means for the show, what you might expect from the sketches and performances, and how this fits into SNL's wider place in pop culture in 2025. So buckle up, we've got a lot to cover. First, let's step back and look at what SNL is and why a hosting or musical guest slot on this show is such a big deal. Saturday Night Live launched back in 1975 on NBC, and over the years it has grown into one of television's most iconic late-night shows. It's a live sketch comedy show based in New York at Studio 8H, combining cold opens, monologues, sketches, musical performances, and the famous Weekend Update segment. Why does it matter? Because SNL isn't just a TV show, it's a cultural institution. It can make careers, it can reflect and shape the national zeitgeist, and landing a hosting gig or musical guest spot is a signal of prominence, relevance, or ambition. As we move into season 51, SNL remains a marker of pop culture relevance. So when Glen Powell is stepping into the host chair for the first time and Olivia Dean is the musical guest for the first time, it's not just another episode, it's a potential moment. It's worth unpacking their journeys and what they bring to the table. Let's focus on Glen Powell. You might know him from films like The Running Man and Chad Powers, among others. In an exclusive interview, he said hosting SNL was a dream he'd had for as long as he can remember. He said, "I've been waiting to be on that stage for as long as I can remember." That gives you a sense of how meaningful this is for him. Also of note, while this is his first full hosting gig on SNL, he previously made a cameo in an earlier episode his film co-star was hosting, which shows he's familiar with the show's rhythm. Why is this hosting gig interesting? A few reasons. First-time host. There's always a different energy when someone steps up to the host role for the first time. The monologue tends to lean on self-referential jokes, the host's career, how they got here, expectations, nervousness. He's coming in with a relatively strong profile, movie star, comedic chops, or at least willing to lean comedic, which means the show may lean into big sketches, star cameos, playful risk. The timing, season 51 is underway, SNL potentially heading toward major milestones. Glen Powell's debut may get extra fanfare. In addition, there's promotional buildup. For example, he made a promo viral footage where he dresses/universalizes a walking like Walken bit with a cleaning cart, paying homage to Christopher Walken. That viral teaser built buzz ahead of the show. So, what should you expect from Glen's episode? His monologue. Expect jokes about his film roles, The Running Man, Chad Powers, perhaps self-deprecating stuff about being the host for the first time. He may reference the promo, the viral bit. Sketches may lean into his strengths. Physical comedy, that cleaning cart walk-in bit hints at that, perhaps action parody, since he's known for action films, or meta-Hollywood satire, him navigating the show business world. Cameos and surprises. SNL often brings in unexpected guests when hosts have strong movie/TV connections, so keep an eye for surprise appearances. In summary, Glen Powell's SNL debut is both a coming-of-age moment for him and a big opportunity for the show to craft a lively episode. His fan factor plus willingness to lean fun means this episode could be more memorable than the average. Now let's shift gears to our musical guest, Olivia Dean, a British singer-songwriter whose profile has been rising steadily. While the above article doesn't go deep into her full discography, multiple sources mention she's making her SNL debut here. Why does this matter? Because SNL's musical guest slot is both a launchpad and a showcase. It introduces or reinforces an artist to a wider U.S. audience. The fact that Olivia is doing this now suggests she's entering a new stage of her career, recognition in the U.S., the kind of stage that can lead to bigger mainstream visibility. What can we expect from her performance? A few thoughts. 2 performances. Typically, SNL musical guests perform 2 songs, sometimes one good single, then a second more experimental piece. So anticipate at least one hit, or recent single, and perhaps a deeper cut or interesting arrangement. Production value. SNL live performances are fully backed by band, lighting, stage design, sometimes cameo dancers, etc. Genre blending or surprise. If she has an eclectic style, the show may lean into that to make the live performance feel special. Also, because the episode features both a first-time host and a first-time musical guest, there's synergy. SNL may treat the night as a fresh episode, highlight both debutantes, weave cross-promotion, host referencing musical guest, and vice versa. For fans of Olivia Dean, this is a milestone. For casual viewers, it might serve as a breakout moment. Let's zoom out a little. This episode isn't happening in isolation. It's part of Season 51 of SNL. According to the season overview, SNL premiered Season 51 on October 4th, 2025, and is expected to air multiple episodes throughout the TV year. This particular episode, with Glen Powell and Olivia Dean, is scheduled for November 15th, 2025. It marks a point in the season where the show is building momentum. First few episodes have come and gone, the audience is tuned in, and now a high-profile host plus debut musical guest adds extra weight. From a cultural viewpoint, consider. Live TV is still appointment viewing in a streaming era. SNL remains one of the last true live comedy/relevance shows each week. With social media and virality, e.g., the viral promo for Glen, SNL's impact isn't just via broadcast but via clips online, memes, social discussion. The host/musical guest pairing often reflects current trends. Hollywood star Glen Powell plus rising musical act Olivia Dean equals cross-demographic appeal, movie fans plus music fans. For SNL itself, capitalizing on first-time hosts and musical guests keeps the show feeling fresh, not formulaic. What else is relevant? The show is approaching major milestones. Season 51, upcoming 1000th episode, per season overview. All this adds a layer of we're in a big year kind of narrative. Thus, tonight's episode isn't just another Saturday. It carries the weight of expectation. Will Glen deliver as host? Will Olivia deliver a standout performance? Will the sketches resonate or feel humdrum? These are the questions that fans and critics will be watching. Okay, now the fun part. What should you keep your eyes on when you tune in? I'll walk you through several key segments and what they might look like in this episode. Cold open. The traditional first sketch. Usually topical, politics, culture, high energy. Since Glen is host, likely to include him in some cameo or even central role. Given Glen's background in action/comedy, maybe a parody of a movie/trailer or a workplace scenario monologue, this is where Glen gets to introduce himself to the SNL audience, often telling a story about how I got here, jokes about being nervous, about the host role, pop culture references, maybe a musical bit or cameo surprise. Watch how he sets the tone. Playful, self-aware, comfortable, or more serious. 3. Major sketches. Look for 1 or 2 big sketches featuring Glen prominently. One might be a parody of one of his films, e.g., The Running Man, or action movie tropes. Another might lean into Glen's real-life persona, charm, charisma, comedic wink. There may also be a cameo by a co-star or friend, common on SNL. 4. Weekend Update, anchored by Colin Jost and Michael Che, who remain longtime anchors. Though not specific to Glen/Olivia, this segment is always key and may reference series events, host/musical guest, trending news. 5. Musical performances. For Olivia Dean, expect. First performance, likely her newest single, to promote her current album or tour. Second performance, maybe something more stripped down, or maybe a high-energy interpretation to close the show. Possible visual staging or cameo, maybe Glen in the crowd or as part of the act. 6. Closing/bow. The final moments usually bring back the host, sometimes tie together with earlier sketches, and end with the musical performance finale or a larger group moment. Watch how the show wraps the energy. Some special moments to watch. Glen's Walking Like Walkin' promotional bit suggests physical comedy may play a part. If they incorporate that into a sketch, it could be a breakout bit. Olivia's debut. The live performance might generate a clip that goes viral, which in turn may amplify her profile. Any crossover. Host interacting with musical guest beyond standard expectations, e.g., cameo in musical act, host singing/dancing. Easter eggs. Since this season is building toward milestones, SNL might sneak in self-referential jokes about its history, 1000th episode, cast changes, etc. Alright, that wraps up our deep dive into tonight's SNL episode with Glen Powell as host and Olivia Dean as musical guest. Whether you're tuning in live or catching the clips later, this one deserves your attention. Expect energy, potential viral moments, and a show that leans into its live event status. If you enjoy this kind of breakdown, let me know in the comments, and we can do similar previews and post-show reviews for other SNL episodes or live events. Thanks for watching, or we'll watch. Enjoy the show tonight, and I'll see you next time with more pop culture coverage. Don't forget, if you liked this video, hit like/subscribe, share with friends who love SNL or live TV, and ring the bell so you don't miss future previews. Also, drop your guess in the comments. What sketch do you think will become the standout? What song do you hope Olivia Dean performs? I'll check the responses, and we may do a follow-up after the show.